Greetings. This is the 10th, I believe, in our series of VBT practice videos where we just do the practices instead of analyzing the verses. So in this video, we'll do the practice of deha-śuddhi and jagat-dagdha, burning the body image and burning the world. And I'll briefly explain or remind you what that means. In the practice of deha-śuddhi, which is a classical tantric yoga practice found in all the scriptures, one, on a daily basis, ideally, practices or sort of rehearses the burning away of one's body image and one's socially constructed sense of self. Okay, so this means burning away your story about yourself that you've sort of built up over all the things that people have told you about you over time since you were a kid, and also burning away body image. It's a super important, crucial tantric practice that we overthrow the tyranny of ordinary appearances and realize that what we are has very, very little to do with our story about ourselves or our image of ourselves. That's why this originally was a daily tantric practice in the classical period, and it can be for you too, if you like. Certainly, I recommend it, doing it frequently for a couple of years at least, because it takes time to burn away your body image, your self-images, your socially constructed sense of self, right? And then uniquely to the VBT, you go on from this practice to burning the whole world, which is understood then as burning your story about the world, burning away your kind of conditioned view of reality, your conditioned view of humanity, of what's happening on planet Earth. You know, and some of what you think about what's happening may very well be true, but it's in our projections about possible futures that we suffer. Whereas in this moment, usually, you're not suffering. Sometimes you are, of course. Sometimes you or me are, sometimes I'm in great pain in the present moment, right? But if I subtract, as I've learned to do and often can do, but not always, if I subtract all the suffering that comes from projecting possible futures, then the pain that remains in any given moment is more than bearable. So life seems overwhelming when we're considering our projections about possible futures as truths instead of fragments of infinite possibility. So having said that, let's do the practices. And I want to mention, by the way, that the mantra, the traditional mantra for deha-śuddhi, says an interesting thing. It says, sabahyantaram tanum, which is that in the deha-śuddhi practice, we burn not only our physical body image, but our subtle body image, right? That's actually expressed in the mantra itself, that you have to let go of your story about your energy body too, at least for the duration of this practice, you know? So you're actually burning all the chakras and all the nadis and all of that along with the physical body. Very explicit in the mantra, burn the physical or external body and the subtle or internal body in this practice, leaving nothing but pure transparency. And then you immerse in that pure transparency for as long as you can. Maybe it's just a few seconds. That's fine. So let's do the practice together. And if you don't know the mantra, don't worry about it. And don't open your eyes to I'm not going to put it in the window, except after the fact, right? So just follow along with your eyes closed. For this practice, as for many tantric practices, it's important to be very still. So please take a deep breath and settle into your seat, adopting a posture in which you can stay very, very still for 5 or 10 minutes, ideally not even moving a muscle. But relax into stillness. You don't need to hold yourself still, just relax into natural stillness. And bring the whole body into awareness. Be aware of the whole body simultaneously. Then please place the focal point of your awareness in the tips of both big toes. If that's difficult, then just go with one of your big toes. Focusing on the tip of the big toe. Imagine or feel that a white-hot incandescent flame appears there and starts spreading inside the body, burning the body from inside out. And you're not visualizing the physical body burning, you're visualizing your body image burning, all your ideas and stories about your own body burning away as this flame rises through your feet, your ankles. It keeps rising. You invite it to keep rising. White hot, incandescent flame. You don't need to think of specifics in terms of self-images or body image. Just let everything burn. The flame rising through the legs towards the hips. Consuming everything. Burning away your ideas about your subtle body as well. Your chakras. Everything is offered into this fire. Your sexuality. Everything. Fire rises now through your hips, through your belly and low back. As you hear the mantra burning the outer and inner bodies, releasing everything, for at least for this moment, offering everything into the fire, including whatever idea you have about your own soul, even. Everything. Om Sa Sabahyantaram Tanum Dahayami Pat. The fire keeps rising, burning your heart. The higher chakras, your back, your shoulders, your arms. Rising and rising until everything is engulfed in white-hot, incandescent, purifying fire. Om Sa Sabahyantaram Tanum Dahayami Pat. And the fire blazes brighter and more intensely and then dies down. Everything has burned away. leaving only pure transparency where there was a body, pure openness. And there also remains a thin layer of ash on the ground. These samskaras or impressions of your body image and self-images. Now those ashes blow away on a sacred wind, leaving nothing behind. Aim Tanu Basma Utpuyani Karomi Hu. Now, let the whole world catch fire. Remember, this is the burning of your ideas about the way things are, the way things are going. So you visualize the whole world burning around you. Remember, this is a sacred fire, the burning away of all your stories about what is or could be or should be. Imagine everything engulfed in flames. And when the flames finally die down, the world is reborn. Pure, pristine, clear, simple, and open. Free of all our stories about it. And in the same way now, your body is reborn, reappears, free of all your stories about it. Please allow your spine to curve a little bit, allow your chin to drop towards your chest. And in a moment, when your eyes float halfway open, I invite you to take in the vision of your own body as if for the first time, with fresh eyes. Gaze at your own body as a thing of simple beauty. Or even better, free from any idea about it whatsoever. Maybe you want to let the body touch itself. As if for the first time. Bringing the hands to Anjali Mudra if you feel so moved. And if you like joining me in this prayer, may all beings be free of their self-images and body image. May all beings be free from the suffering caused by their stories about the world, while still showing up for what is moment to moment. May we be free of bondage to mental constructs about ourselves, others, the world, and the future. Om. That's the end of the practice, and I'd like to just address one important objection to the second practice, which, by the way, optionally follows the first. You don't need to always do those two together at all. And some people raise the objection. Well, wait a second. We can know some things with almost total certainty. Like, we know the planet is warming, whether it's caused by humans or not. Let's not debate that. It's definitely warming. And we know it will continue to warm. Like, that is provable. Absolutely. But that's not the source of our suffering when we imagine possible futures. The source of our suffering is the belief or assumption that X, Y, and Z will be bad or will be a worse outcome than A, B, or C. And that's what we don't know. We don't know whether the challenges of this century will destroy the human race or be the making of the human race. Perhaps what's happening is the best thing that could possibly happen to bring about human unity and dissolve national barriers. I'm not saying that'll happen. I'm saying it could. And it's our stories about the future being the worst of all possible outcomes, or in that spectrum, that causes suffering, not what is measurably happening in the physical universe. So just contemplate that, consider that we don't know what's going to happen in terms of our experience. We might know the planet's warming, more species are going extinct faster than has happened for many, many millions of years. Absolutely true. But we don't know what our experience of the future will be. That, to realize that, is freedom. It's a huge part of liberation. To not only realize it, but to embody that realization. Gina asks, but there is that which cannot be burnt away in the energy body, in our deepest heart, the fire that cannot be burnt by fire. No water can put it out, no wind can blow it away. She says, I have experimented. Awesome. Not that I would be rid of it, but just to see. The love lives when all else is ashes. Beautiful. How poetic and true, Gina and everyone. Exactly. We offer everything into the fire because that which is ultimately true cannot be burnt. The fire of love, of universal love in the deepest heart of hearts cannot be burnt by this fire of purification. And that's why we offer everything into the fire without fear, because nothing false will survive and nothing true will perish. And lastly, Barbara asks, no bell or nectar provision with this version. Correct. Usually you ring the bell when you're blowing the ashes away, but that's in certain contexts when you're doing it with a little bit more ritual involved. And in this version of the practice, you want to not have to move, and to grab a bell, you would have to move. So nectar pervasion, if you know it, then you absolutely can do that. Just in this particular video, we didn't. There's many variations of every practice. Enjoy them all, explore them all, enjoy yourself. Om.